Hi, everybody. It's Linda G. It's Monday morning, June the 10th. Jesus, it's already 10 days.
Well, it's afternoon here, but morning by you.
Yeah, it's noon time.
It's already June the 10th. Can you believe it? Where does time go?
Can you believe it, my friend?
We've got cicadas everywhere. And Gary plants a little garden in the backyard with impatiens and all of that. And the little effers, they're eating all the blooms on the flowers, on the impatiens. And then we have a little herb garden. They ate the basil, and now they're eating the marigolds. They're everywhere. I mean,
So you can't really plant again until they're gone.
I mean, it'll be too late in the season, but we go out every morning and we sweep up our patio, and there's tons of carcasses there.
Don't you have a lot of birds eating all those?
There's too many for the birds to eat, and they're big. They're about like that. The cicadas are about that long. The dog doesn't even like to go out the sound. She doesn't like it. And then Gary came in the other day and looked like he was doing St. Vitus dance. And I'm going, what's wrong? And I hear this chirping. He goes, there's one on me somewhere. And I was on his back. Get it off, get it off. I just took it off. And he said, aren't you afraid of those things? I go, nope.
No, they don't hurt. Did you have those when you grew up in Kentucky?
Well, we had grasshoppers and things like that, but I never even heard of a cicada before I came here. We used to call them katydids when I was in the South. And anyway, but I remember back in the 80s, the first time the 17-year-old cicadas came out, and they were everywhere. And every 17 years, I think this is my third one or whatever. But one night I was driving down Glenview Road over here, and it was at night, and it looked like the road was just black, and it was moving. It was all cicadas. So on the little trees, they put like these nets over them to keep the cicadas off. They love the peonies. They're on the peonies like crazy. But I think they'll be here another month. But
you can put my panties out there; they'll stay away from those.
So I think what they do is they lay their eggs, and the eggs go into the ground. They make larvae, and the larvae just hibernates for 17 years, and then they hatch out as a cicada, and then they mate. They lay their eggs and they die. I go, they got kind of gypped.
Yeah, and the other thing is when the ground's a certain temperature, they come out. Right. And with this heat thing, they're going to start coming out sooner and sooner.
Well, we get them, sometimes in August and September, but those aren't the 17-year ones. But the 17-year ones, when they come out, it's like, whoa. They come out with a vengeance.
Okay. This is from Susie. Thank you guys for listening. Okay, I'm a history teacher in Pennsylvania area in high school. Unfortunately, in the Trump area, most kids get their politics from what they hear at home. Unfortunately, they believe their parents in Trump, MAGA, I can't even say it, imbecile, and just downright incorrect lies. This fall, I will be doing a unit on our presidential election. Please help me change hearts and minds of my students. How can I get them to see the truth when they have been brainwashed? My students generally love and can be engaged with me. I would present it not in a manner that you're against Trump, but present the facts of what he said, that he's going to get rid of the Department of Justice. He's going to do the Constitution, and then ask him, so, okay, based on that, how do you think that would work out? What do you think America would look like? I would present it like that.
I would kind of take a psychological approach as well and say, here's how brainwashing works, that certain parties cause us to suspend our critical thinking, and they play on fear, like,
I see, if you present that, then they will go to their parents and say, they're saying that ex-President Trump is brainwashing.
Well, they wouldn't say him. They would just say any politician. And then what I would do is talk about how Hitler came to power.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but if you present exactly, Trump is not presenting anything on the table to help others, period.
No, nothing.
He just got done telling people in Las Vegas, I'm not here for you. I'm here for your vote.
Right. So look and see. I don't know, but I wouldn't make it political. Absolutely not. That could cost her job.
Okay. So real quick, what do you think what's going to happen with Hunter Biden?
Well, the jury's starting deliberation. I think the defense rested. They're going to start deliberating soon.
This afternoon.
Right. So if they come back quickly, we know it's a guilty verdict, but I don't know. I don't see him going to jail. I never did.
I think I think it's time served. I think he's already done some stuff on this.
So do I. That's what I think they'll do, is time served. And you know what? I think, as you would say, they were, the MAGAs were trying to make a big deal out of this, and it's really a nothing burger compared to.
Oh, they're going to scream that he privileged, and no jury is right unless they go with the route they want.
Anytime they lose, it was rigged, it's rigged, it's, it's a conspiracy, but when they win, they don't go that route. So,
Right.
Oh, they're going to scream about it, but especially the Marjorie.
I'm not seeing not guilty though. I'm seeing probationary kind of stuff. I'm seeing that, yeah, he made a mistake, but they can't. I just see, like, I know that they had already agreed on something that's going to piss the jury off, that the Justice Department changed their mind.
Well, what I think also, they have to prove without a reasonable doubt that he was on drugs and at the time that he bought that gun, and that's hard to prove.
Yeah.
Bo Biden's wife, because she said that he got her addicted to cocaine. I don't know, but it sounds more like a political dogfight to me, because there's a lot of people that have done that and never were sent to trial. So I don't know. Just because everybody robs a bank and doesn't get caught doesn't make it okay for him. But I still
but they already came up. They had already dealt with this, just like the IRS.
Right.
The IRS is going to be a nothing burger too.
Right. So I see like a slap on the wrist for him. And you're right, probably probation or something.
Okay.
Okay. But I don't know if they're trying him on a felony or a misdemeanor. I don't know. But then what can the MAGAs say? Because all the Democrats and the independents have to say, well, look at Trump. He was convicted of how many counts? 34 felony counts.
Yeah, they won't talk about Trump. But let me tell you something. They will talk about the fact that computer, that the hard drive was taken by Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, yeah.
Not going to trust anything from it. Yeah.
And you know what? He's going to sue Marjorie Taylor Greene for bringing up for those pictures in Congress.
Well, he did that computer was taken illegally.
Right. That's right. And
yeah, I do see him suing her. Yeah. But it's about next year, I think.
And he's going to win.
Yeah.
And I see indictments brought down from that, because that was like, it was theft.
Yeah.
But so, go ahead.
Go ahead. You ask your question.
But I was just going to say Marjorie Taylor Greene, she didn't steal the computer, but she got the pictures and she knew what she was doing. And he is going to sue her. And like I said, he's going to win a large sum of money.
And she knew that there was questionable how they even got that computer. Just like that woman that stole the diary of the daughter.
That's right. That's right. I had a question last week. Somebody said we seem distracted. We're looking down. I said, no, we're not distracted. We're reading the questions from ourselves.
We're reading the questions.
So here's the questions, if you can see them. That's hard to see, and then we read them off of our cell phone.
We read them off. Whenever we're looking down, we're reading your comments. So go ahead with your question.
Okay. Tensor 8709 says, can you look at the healthcare system with the Medicaid cuts? Will we start seeing the closing of many hospitals?
Medicaid is cutting?
I didn't know that, but it says with Medicaid. Oh, Medicaid cuts, meaning public aid cuts, not Medicare. Medicaid's different.
Oh, okay. But that's from the states, not from the federal, right?
No, Medicaid is money given to the states by the federal government for people who are below a certain income level.
And they're cutting that under a Biden administration?
Well, I think a lot of states are trying to cut Medicaid. Not Medicare, Medicaid, but the states.
But is it the state that's cutting it, or is it the federal government?
The states can decide kind of how they appropriate it, but they have to follow federal guidelines. And if they don't follow federal guidelines, then the state guidelines have to be more stringent. So I don't see hospitals closing because of Medicaid cuts. I used to be a social worker and I did all the Medicaid applications for people in the nursing home. I was intake, well, some intake, but I don't see hospitals closing. Typically, hospitals prefer more private pay or insurance company paying because they don't make a lot on Medicaid patients, which is terrible to say. But I do think a lot more hospitals are going to have to accept all forms of Medicaid, because some hospitals can say, we'll take this form of Medicaid and not that form.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to really affect. I actually see more money being thrown into it.
so do I, actually. Okay. All right, your turn.
Okay, let me get it up here. Please look at Mexico's new president, Claudia Sheinbaum. Will she be a positive force, or does she lean toward dictatorship?
I don't see her being a dictator. I think what she's going to do is meet with the president of El Salvador and a lot of Central American countries and a lot of South American countries. And I see a Latin American Union. I keep seeing that. I'll just call it the LAU, Latin American Union. And it'll be kind of like what the European Union is, countries getting together, having like the same currency, probably the peso. And working together to fight cartels and crime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to start out with 4 or 5 countries and it'll grow. So within the next 5 to 8 years, we'll see a huge Latin American Union. So I like that.
People together.
Yes.
It's not a dictatorship. The cycle of Mexico is going up.
Right. I think she's going to toughen up on the cartels and all of that, and use
which means they'll be after her. She's really got to be cautious.
Well, I think she's going to use what the El Salvador president did, that same kind of idea. And, when he went in El Salvador, you'd pray when you went there. And now it's one of the safest countries.
Wait a second. So then why did all Trump's kids and stuff go to El Salvador?
Why
And said if Trump loses in this election, they're moving to El Salvador. What is it about El Salvador they like?
Because it's safe. And I don't know if they have extradition with the United States. I don't know. I have to check.
Mustn't, because they're saying they're going to go to El Salvador. And I thought they were meeting up with a dictator. But no, there's no dictator running?
I don't think so. Let me take a look. While you're looking at questions, I'm going to Google something.
Okay. Does JFK have anything to say about RFK Jr.?
Yeah.
He said it's sad. It's very sad.
Okay. El Salvador's president started his second term. He captured 85% of the vote.
Whoa.
He gained global attention for his tough stance and accent against the country's notorious gangs and slashing murder rates. So this is a picture of him.
Oh.
So people really like him.
I know a lot of El Salvadorian people that moved to the United States, salt of the earth people.
Bukele has El Salvador posed to prosper after stopping murder and really making the crime a lot less there. Matt Gaetz went to the inauguration, but
yeah, but what is it about him that is Trumpian that they like?
That I don't know, but I will search it out for you.
Okay.
I don't know if they have extradition with the United States. Does El Salvador? I don't think that president's going to want thugs down there. That's for sure.
Right. Well, like Trump tried to tell everybody, Queen Elizabeth said he was the best president she ever had.
She never said that.
Couldn't stand him.
She couldn't stand him at all. She when she met him, She walked in front of him, I think. No, he walked in front of her. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, we do have extradition with El Salvador. I'll find out why Trump said they want to go there. But if he's gonna, well, I don't even know if they'd let him live there. They might not say no.
They might, yeah. So Ghislaine Maxwell is releasing a book of her memoirs. Is that true?
Her book?
Yeah.
I think there's a little BS intertwined with it. You think?
Will she reveal any bombshell? I think she's written a book, but I also feel she's afraid of being killed while she's in jail.
She is, actually.
So it feels like somebody has the book to be released if something happens to her.
That's what I see, to name names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like an insurance policy.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, South Carolina has a primary on Tuesday.
Well, you know, what I see is a lot of these states that were traditionally Republican and conservative Republican, and some that went MAGA. I think, you know, on the local elections and the state elections, everybody says, oh, there's going to be this red tsunami. It wasn't even a pink drop. And so I think what's happening in a lot of those states when the Democrats are taking over positions or winning positions that they have not held in many, many years, I think that's a bellwether of what's coming on in our federal election coming up in November. I see the Democrats doing okay down there. What do you think?
Right. Well, I think Nancy Mace will beat the other two Republican challengers.
So do I.
Okay. And then the Dems are having a primary. McDeford or Michael Moore?
Oh, Michael Moore, like the filmmaker?
But it's not him. His name is Michael Moore.
I got a good feeling with Michael Moore.
Me too. And then finally, Republican or Dem winner in November?
I got a feeling it's going to be a Dem.
Let me look.
I could be wrong, but I feel Dem.
Nancy Mace doesn't feel like she does much of any. I
No,
think
she
she's
doesn't.
retired. Will a Republican or a Democrat win South Carolina? I feel there's a state that shockingly will be won by Dems, and people can't believe it happened, but I don't know if it's this state.
I think you're right about that. And I see there's a couple, 3 or 4 more states that's going to be that way. In other words, they go purple.
I don't know. I'm not getting a Democrat.
I'm sorry?
I'm not getting a Democrat.
Okay.
She probably has it in the bag. Eventually, she'll get knocked out, though. So go ahead. What's your...
Okay. This is a different one. Deanna Rockwell asked, do our souls have a unique identifier such as a name? This is opposed to our human name and our last reincarnation.
The what? I'm sorry.
Do our souls have a unique identifier such as a name? This is opposed to our human name and our last reincarnation. Well, they come through in ways we know, but I think spirit is energy, really.
And there is an energetic name that we can't pronounce as human form.
Correct. So they give us what their name was when they were in the most recent incarnation, so we can identify them. But I think their identifier is, you're right, something we wouldn't even be able to comprehend.
Yeah, right.
They're true.
Okay, go ahead. Ask me a question.
Okay, user says it's almost verdict time. What's next?
The what time?
It is almost verdict time.
Oh.
For DT. What's next?
Oh boy, he's really mad today because he had to talk to the probation officer. He tried to show his ass. I'm going to tell you right now.
He did it virtually. Now,
I know.
If you or I had left that court like he did, we would have been nailed to a cross. Why does he get by with that stuff?
Because they think he's somebody.
Well, he's not.
I was feeling today, let me tell you something. I'm thinking this judge is going to take in consideration that he is a Republican primary person. I really do. And I feel he wants him to have served jail, but he might put it on hold till after the primary. If he wins, then it'll go till after he serves as president, but he won't win. But I'm almost felt like putting it on hold, like he'll say he needs jail or home confinement for a while, but then a bulk of it happens after. Or this could be another case where he's going to get jail that happens after he loses as president.
I see home confinement, and the gag order will remain.
Yeah.
And if he breaks that, then they will put him in jail.
And then they're like, then you're going to go to jail, and everybody will hope that he breaks it because he tends to do that.
Well, he will, but then Trump's attorneys are going to ask if you know, and if he could stay out until the appeal, because they're going to appeal it, saying that it was trying to go on a mistrial. But that's, my feeling is the appeals court, it'll take them a long time to hear the case. So they're going to uphold the verdict of the lower court.
Okay.
If he takes it to the Supreme Court, and he can, only if something violated his constitutional rights under the U.S. Constitution, then the Supreme Court can hear it. But if they overturn this verdict, then we know they're bought and sold, which we already
know they're bought and sold. Yeah.
Of course. If they're smart, they'll just withhold, they'll just not hear it and uphold the decision of
that court. For some reason, every time he presented that the election was rigged to them, they always said no, they wouldn't hear it.
Right.
So they knew it wasn't rigged.
Of course they knew that. And let's hope that they know not to touch this case. There might be
They're already just diving. They're just so low on the totem pole.
There might be a few justices that'll want it, but there will be many of them that won't.
Yeah.
The whole,
I even see Kavanaugh and Amy, maybe even Neil Gorsuch, voting to keep it going, not to give him a reprieve.
That's what I think. Okay, it's your turn.
Okay, which next trial is going to start? The January 6th with Judge Chutkan?
I see a trial starting before the election.
That's what I did too. And I think they're going to come down with the immunity thing, and they work with that.
I thought it was Georgia, but maybe I was wrong on that. But yeah, and then what'll happen is they'll figure out what the immunity thing is, and then Trump will take it to the Supreme Court. And then the Supreme Court doesn't meet again until October. They'll hear the arguments, and then they'll postpone it until after the election. They'll just kick the can.
Wait a second. If they come out with their thing at the end of June like they're supposed to, how can he take it back to the Supreme Court?
No. They'll come out in June about what the immunity is all about and what it is. I think they'll take it back down to Chutkan and figure out what's private and what's presidential, and she'll hear those arguments. And then whatever she rules, Trump will appeal that, take it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court doesn't meet again until October.
So he'll have already lost as president.
Well, in October, they'll hear the arguments, but then if they do decide to hear the arguments, but then they wouldn't make their decision until after the election.
Right.
So, and then
I see a lot of pressure on that Supreme Court by October. I think they know trouble's coming.
They do.
Because we're going to win we're going to win big time, and we're going to start getting committees up, and we're going to start having hearings.
And investigations.
Yes.
And I see 2 of those justices being impeached.
Yeah, I definitely see. I see Thomas leaving before that.
Right, but 2 others.
I know the writing on the wall. He says, "I'm done here." And when Biden wins again, he's done.
2 others being impeached, and if they're smart,
Kavanaugh.
And I think who's the one that the flag?
Alito.
And if they're smart, they'll resign.
Yeah, Alito's like this. Kavanaugh will be crying, walking away.
Exactly. And I see Eileen Cannon taken off the bench too.
Oh yeah, she's got to go. But the other one was Amy, who's actually trying to work with the Constitution, but they're going to present her before because she lied too. They all lied about keeping precedents.
They did.
They assured the Senate that that's how they would do it. They might even take up another vote.
They will.
Do we think Amy should still be on board? And I'm feeling they're saying no. Her, I've always felt an illness. I always felt she's going to have something anyway.
You know, I just got cold chills when you said that, so I get truth with that. But
it feels female.
I see Roe v. Wade being upheld.
Yes, they're going to bring everything back.
But isn't that karmic that if because she was so anti-Roe v. Wade, and then she gets something female going on, that's karmic.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And they're gonna. I think you know, after the election, they can't really mess with gay marriage because I see that being codified at some point.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff they're gonna have more gun control and everything. They're gonna squeal like a bunch of pigs.
How can they unmarry us once we're married? I don't get that.
Well,
anyway.
bug.
Okay, sweetie darling Lulu. I love
that name.
Me too. Hey, sweetie darling Lulu. Hi, Linda and Mel. How is Fani Willis feeling with another delay of the trial?
She's got her nose up in the air. She's got a very strong constitution. She's an extremely powerful woman. I wish she could have done this before the election, but don't worry, she's sitting in the wings waiting.
Fani Willis
is. You don't mess with a Scorpio woman.
No, I've got 3 planets in Scorpio. Fani Willis is not. I think when something like this happens, they're thinking she'll just give in. I think they might, Trump and his cronies are thinking she might resign. That's not going to happen. She's going to fight harder.
Yeah.
When they put the pressure on Fani, she fights harder.
Yeah, and she is seething, but she'll follow the law.
Oh, she'll follow the law, but she'll just fight harder.
But she really feels that they're picking on her because she's a strong Black woman.
Absolutely. And they are.
Yeah. You know how groups roll. Can you believe that guy that said he liked Jim Crow?
Who? I'm sorry?
That Black man. I think he's a
Oh yeah. Well,
we're better with Jim Crow. Yeah. Joy on MSNBC had him on the show. Boy, she ripped him upside down in the other.
Good.
What he needed was a good whooping.
He's an Uncle Tom, is what he is.
Oh my God. He thought the homes were more secure. Men couldn't get jobs. Women had to go out and work. Women could be assaulted and raped and couldn't complain.
That wasn't more secure. You know what? If he had to live through that, he'd be the first one running to complain.
When President Abraham Lincoln, when we first started to free the slaves, and slaves could run, previous slaves could run for office. They had a wonderful Congress. They had towns. They had everything going for them until the white man went in there and ripped it up and killed them and said, no, you can't vote. Made them fear for their lives.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's how Jim Crow came about. But, you know, unfortunately, the African Americans, even though slavery ended, they still weren't free. Technically they were, but they were still treated. I mean, I remember in the South, you know, was that separate but equal doctrine. I can remember growing up in Kentucky. I was born in 54. I remember signs that said whites only.
Yeah. We didn't have that out here in morning, but
we did. I remember that, and I thought it was wrong then, and it's and they're sad that politicians would want to take us back.
That one little guy that was in the store with his cousins, his mother begged him, don't be sassy because they won't understand you. And they butchered him.
That was Emmett Till.
Yeah.
And his mother, by making him show him in the coffin, that really fanned the flame of equal rights. You know.
Well, just like when they were showing what happened on that bridge to the American public, most of them were outraged.
Absolutely.
Why were the police treating them like animals?
That was a peaceful march, and they put water hose and dogs on them. It was horrible. It was horrible. You know, we talk about Holocaust and things like that in other countries, but, you know, we've had our own, and we need to look at that too. Look at what we did to the Native Americans. read the book, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Yeah,
It's,
I read that years ago.
oh, everybody's got to read that book. I cried. I really cried. So
Yeah.
we treated, and we still treat our Native Americans horribly.
Yeah. Also, I gotta tell you, I had a short look at Princess Kate the other day. Not good.
Haven't seen her.
I told everybody I saw her losing her hair, and people said, no, no. Well, she donated her hair to a children's cancer place. But I feel like she's been bald and she's very weak, but she might have a little reprieve, but I didn't feel good. How have you been feeling? I hate to talk about her because I hate to keep going over it, but
Well, my
I
prayer,
just feel sadness for the monarchy between Charles and her.
well, he doesn't have a long time to go.
I know.
My prayer is she'll make it. I haven't seen pictures of her, but you know, you've gone through chemo. Luckily, I didn't have to go through chemo, but you know what it's like going through chemo. You lose your hair and you look skeletal, you know.
Oh, not me. I look like a fat bald woman.
Oh, probably because they gave you steroids.
No, they didn't give me steroids.
Oh, they didn't. Wow.
No, I don't know why I blew up like a nickel balloon, something with the chemo, I guess.
Some people, it makes them look real gaunt and thin. Others, it makes them
Not me.
You just don't know. But
After I was cured of cancer, they said, well, you're done. You're cancer free. I said, wait a second. I didn't lose a gosh darn pound. They said, what? I said, you said with this chemo, I'd lose weight. So I want my money back.
yeah, right.
But Linda, you're cured. I don't give a whopping. You said I'd lose weight.
We'll undo your chemo. We're gonna repossess your chemo.
Take back your chemo then.
Anyway, yeah, it's just really sad. I see now. Wait, who's in line for the throne? Is it William? I forget.
William.
Yeah, he'll be a good king, actually, I think.
He will. Good.
I feel bad for Kate, though. I really do. All right. Jared says, I really enjoy Mel and Linda on Mondays. To me, you're a special treat. God bless you both. Thank you.
Thank you, Jared.
That's so sweet. Okay, your turn.
Well, that's not a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Sabina Magpie says, I like that. Sabina Magpie. When we choose to come to Earth and make decisions about our lessons in life, do we choose our ill health and diseases? If so, what were we thinking? I don't think so. Who would choose to have cancer?
Well, you know, karmically, we bring some stuff. Jesus said he could heal people, but also he said he couldn't heal people that karmically chose that disease to make up for something in the past. My mother was born at 12 years old. She had the rheumatoid arthritis. She was crippled at 12 years old.
Wow. You know, my jury's out on it, but I clearly wouldn't have contracted for cancer, that's for sure.
Well, you know, you got through it.
Yes, I did.
So that might not have been something that was designated. Like me with my cancer, I got through it, but it sure woke me, and I've been changed ever since.
Yeah, it was an awakening for me too.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, your turn.
Linda, I'd like you to take a look at the loyalty to the country of some of the military. Our military in the United States, are they loyal? I feel yes, they are. There are some that are like Las Vegas police signed a signature about how they were going to be loyal to Trump. That should be totally against the law.
Should be. I do think they're loyal. Like that general, was it Smiley, who when Trump said he wanted to do this, Smiley would have said absolutely not. So I think most of our service people, and I admire our service people, I think they're doing a phenomenal job for our country. Regardless.
But they kind of dug the hate that Trump was doing. He was doing hate initially. Right. You know, get that, the illegals, no more this, do that. And they were like, yeah, man. But then what happened is he went overboard.
Right. I support our service people. I really do.
Me too.
And they're out there guarding us so we can sleep safely at night.
Well, let me tell you something though, but Trump doesn't support them.
No, he doesn't. I think like when he went to open fire on Black Lives Matter, I think it was Smiley or one of those that absolutely not. You know, um, Leon Trotsky, people wonder who is that. Leon Trotsky was actually a communist after the Bolshevik Revolution. And Leon Trotsky said, if the United States falls, it will fall because of internal problems.
Right, exactly. I
Not
remember
external.
that, not external. Because
And that's
as Lincoln said, a house divided cannot stand.
exactly what happened in the Soviet Union. You know, it broke up. Putin would like it back. It's not going to happen. But what Trotsky said was prophetic, because Trump would want us to be in chaos. He wants us to have anarchy. He wants to make us weaker. And who's that Marjorie Taylor Greene that she's going to make a vote in Congress to ban to break up NATO? I mean, come on.
She's a
So
burger.
so a lot of people might think that we're falling apart at the seams internally. It seems that way, but we're not.
Right.
And Lincoln told me our democracy will prevail, justice will take place, and our union will stand.
Right now, our union will stand. They told me specifically not
Right.
to tell everyone not to worry.
That's right. That's
But
right.
we're getting ready to go through some changes,
Huge.
but it's with the earth itself.
Right. Well, climate change concerns me more.
I saw the last time I was talking to people, I saw a pretty good size plane crash.
Wow.
But it feels like Mediterranean. It feels it could be Egypt or Saudi Arabia or something. But I saw, like, you know, a lot of people. I saw this plane crash. I wished I hadn't seen it, but I saw it.
Yeah, sometimes that's scary, but I get a good feeling for Africa, so I'm not worried about it.
Oh yeah, no, Africa's fine. So, okay, give me a question.
Okay. Cindy, I think it's Golger or Golger, I think. When will the hostages and the bodies come home? Well, they're negotiating now. They just got some hostage.
They've saved 4 people.
But
Blinken said the only one that hasn't gone for their olive branch is Hamas.
right.
But I don't know. But when they saved those 4 people who were in an apartment building, the woman was someplace else and the others were in another place. They killed a lot of people to get to them.
Right.
Just a shame so many people are dying. When will this all take place? Well, I do see Netanyahu having to go sooner than later.
So do I. And my guides had shown me a long time ago that there would be hundreds of thousands of people protesting in Israel against Netanyahu.
And they are.
And they are. In fact, I read for somebody the other day from Israel, and she told me what's going on there. People do not like Netanyahu.
No, they don't. They can't stand him.
And many of the Jewish people here do not like Netanyahu. I am very pro-Israel, but totally anti-Netanyahu. He's going to go.
He's going to go. He's using this for political reasons.
Right. Well, of course, wagging the dog. But she also asked, will the bodies be sent home? And I think those bodies have been cremated or something. I don't think they're going to get the remains.
They're not going to get everybody.
Not everybody, no.
So somebody asked about Phil McGraw, Dr. Phil. Why did he back up Trump's claims on being political victim? Because I don't watch his show. I want to tell you guys, years ago, I stopped watching him when President Bush was up for re-election, and he had President Bush and Laura on his show, and he was giddy. Phil was giddy. If President Bush had come to a full stop, Phil's head would have gone all the way up his rear end.
Brown on his nose.
And I said, oh, this guy's as Republican as they get. So I stopped watching him. So I wasn't surprised that he was, you know, he does it for ratings.
I stopped watching Dr. Phil because he would talk about, you know, people who were cheating and stuff like that and really berate them, and he was cheating.
He what?
I think I'm sorry, abusive or something. There was something that he did that he was berating other people for doing.
He was abusive towards his wife?
You know what? I remember it was not nice. And I just thought, no.
Well, he's very he's just as bad as Trump. He thinks he's all that, a cup of tea.
Well, he started on Oprah, actually, you know.
Yeah, people are mad at Oprah, but she didn't know. She had him, and then she had, of course, with her, he was on his best behavior. He
I
didn't
stopped watching him.
he was probably the old South type of person.
He
And the
reminded
other one she brought on was Dr. Oz. Well,
Yes.
by the way, who hears about Dr. Oz lately?
Well, he's not selling snake oil anymore.
Well, I gotta tell you, I was shocked Dr. Phil was still on the air.
Right. I mean, there was some scandal that came out about him. I forgot what it was, but I'll Google it. We'll talk about it some other
Right.
time.
So, okay, you go ahead and give us the last question.
Okay, Marilyn Monroe says, "Hi, Linda and Mel. Is there still energy? Is there still energy around DT having a health event sometimes this summer?" I hear yes.
I hear yes too.
My guides always show me dark clouds around his head area, so he's really got to watch that. I don't know if it's stroke. I don't wish him harm, but there you go. The tower. Ooh.
Head. Either heart explodes or he'll have like a stroke.
That fits his whole everything going on with
But you
him.
know what? I don't want him to have anything before the election.
Why?
Because I want him to lose horribly.
Oh, I see. I gotcha.
Or he could have something and they go ahead and have the election, but everybody knows he's at death's door. Who knows?
Do we have time for one more?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, I won't ask it. This is really a good one, though. Star Melody Elizabeth asked, "What will become of Palestinian citizens?" That's a really good question.
Yeah, they're not going to be wiped out like Netanyahu would like to have happen.
I see two separate states.
I saw two separate states. I see peace. I see, oh, by the way, Zelensky is winning this war. He's winning it big time. They are striking Russia left and right. And let me tell you, the citizens of Russia that are now feeling it, are mad at Putin. Stop this. We don't need this.
You know what? When you said that, my light bulb just went on. I've got cold chills going up and down my spine.
What?
I see Ukrainian soldiers marching into Russia.
Ooh.
As victorious. That just hit me.
I don't see them overtaking Russia, though.
No.
But I see them making sure who works in Russia is way better than Putin.
But certain areas of Russia, they're going to
like they could have an actual vote that's not rigged.
That's what I see. It just hit me.
Wow.
Okay. So
well, thank you guys for coming.
Oh,
so next Monday I'll be on yours.
You want to talk about our event?
Yeah, well, next Monday I'm going to be on yours.
Right.
And then after that, you're leaving for Africa.
But tell them. Yeah, go ahead.
And then who's taking your place for Monday the next? It's going to be Arthur.
Oh, cool.
He volunteered.
Tell them about our Chicago event.
Oh, you know the dates by heart, right? Is it September 26th?
27th and 28th. It's a Thursday evening, all day Friday, all day.
They'll come in on Wednesday.
Yep. But our meet and greet is Thursday evening. We'll have hors d'oeuvres. We're going to have a singer, piano player. It's going to be cool.
Right. You get to meet all the teachers. You go ahead and call off the teachers.
It'll be Linda, me, Kevin Lewis, Kevin Chandler, Kim Copeland, Deanne, and Arthur's going to MC, and Aiden is going to film it and then edit it so we can put it on our individual channels after it. So
awesome. It's
going to be exciting.
So and then we're going to do like I did any of you guys that came to Sedona. We'll have a specific room for people who are with me, and I'm going to sit down and do readings on everybody gets a reading.
Yes, Linda, you'll be in the wine room. It's really cool. Kevin,
but the key is, will we ever get out of the wine room?
I don't know. There's keys to those. Maybe we can twist somebody's arm.
I
Kevin
don't
Lewis,
like mine actually, but go ahead.
Kevin Lewis will have a big room to the side. Kim Copeland and Kevin Chandler will have smaller rooms, but we can fit everybody in there. I'm just going to do mine in the main room, or maybe there's a little bar area there that's really cool, so I'll probably do it there. But I just met with Sophia and we're figuring out traffic patterns and all of that. And oh, and by the way, Linda did a great job. She ordered little notebooks and pens. They came to my office, and water bottles. And we're also, Linda ordered
And a satchel sack, which you receive, they'll be there on the 17th.
Yeah, I haven't gotten those yet, but so they're really cool. And no storage fee for having them in my office. I'm teasing.
Yeah, when we went to what was the name of that place? It starts with a C.
Catskills?
In the Catskills in New York. When I had the boxes delivered, and I used to do it way early, like I did with Sedona, with the boxes, with the satchels and everything. The guy there complained that they didn't really have any place to store this stuff. They would probably have to charge me a fee.
I had more space than me.
I paid him $500 to store these boxes. And boy, was I shocked when I showed up at that hotel. It was huge.
It's huge, huge.
Not all the rooms were taken. They could have put it anywhere. They kept that money. It was illegal. In fact, the guy who got me in on it, who used to run Sedona too, I said, I gave him $500 for storage. She said, Jesus Christ, they should have it in the limousine outside the door.
They could have put it in a hotel room. They weren't full.
Oh,
well, I don't charge anything except a steak dinner. How's that?
You shouldn't charge anything.
I don't. Steak dinner.
Sedona didn't charge anything.
No, I don't charge anything. I've got plenty of room at my office. Hello. I mean,
yeah,
I'm glad to do it. I'm excited.
And thank you to, who's the lady at your office that's helping us?
Joan has been incredible. Joan is very businesslike, but she's just been a lifesaver. So.
And how do they get a hold? They call your office?
They call my office at 847-590-5411. If you call over a weekend, our office is closed on Sundays and Mondays. If you call when I'm in Africa, it might take like 10 or 11 days to get back to you. But if you call any other time, we're closed on Sundays and Mondays. So, if you call on a weekend, it might take a few days to get back to you. But or you can email me at www.meldoerr, MELDOERR.com. And I forward those to Joan, and then she will.
And Joan has the list of the festivities that will be going on.
Correct.
And also, is there a list of hotels you guys recommend, or?
She will recommend a few in the area.
Okay.
Like the Drake, or the Claridge House, I think is it's a boutique hotel. I don't know if they're full or not. There's a really neat Holiday Inn near there. The Peninsula is right there, but it's the most expensive hotel in Chicago. So it just depends on how much people want to spend for a hotel.
Yeah. No Hotel 6?
You get probably some down there too.
Do you remember when the Hotel 6 was like $6?
Oh yeah. Those were
back in the day.
Those were the day. Anyway, I'm excited about the event. So
me too. And I'm
I
looking
do have
forward to seeing people.
I do have a few openings on the Rhine. I had a few people that canceled. We're leaving September the 6th. So if you're interested.
He's always going, you guys. I can't keep up with that. No way.
Next year, grab this one. Next year, I've got a cruise on a luxury yacht going to the Italian and French Riviera. That's in May. Then in September, I've got a trip going to Peru. It's going to be incredible. And then in October, a trip going to Iceland. So. Oh
yeah, not me. Now, do you have anything with the what you call? I don't know who does your stuff, or have your husband look this up for me. I'm trying to find a cruise that does the one where I got stuck in LA and didn't make it to Texas. In 26 or 27, another one's coming with the moon being blocking out the sun.
Eclipse.
In October, in a couple of years. Can you guys look that up and see? I have another gal that's looking right now.
I forgot. Where's it at? Where's the eclipse going to be?
It's going to be seen more in Spain and Egypt.
Okay, so I will see what Mayflower's got going to Spain to see the eclipse. I'm sure they're working on it already. That's 7 years
Okay.
away. Well, no, I don't know when it is actually, but I'll find out.
Okay.
You know, I'll find out.
Because I'll take my son and his girlfriend. So, but I can't stay 2 weeks. They have cruises that are 2 weeks. I can't do that.
It's an incredible experience to see the eclipse. It's amazing. We saw it 7 years before, but it was rainy. It just got dark. But this time,
Well, I saw it a couple of years before in California, up in Oregon, and it was fantastic.
Incredible. I cried. It was so neat.
I did too, but this one, we got stuck at the airport for 10 hours. We couldn't.
I know. I remember that. I was texting you and calling you.
It was awful.
Anyway.
Okay, you guys.
Sweet. All right.
Love you all.
Love
Cheers.
everybody. Bye.